Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the number one horror podcast, formerly on Pornhub. Getting off, I am your host, the patron saint of podcasting, the Warden Matt Ritter. And I'm here with my co-hosts this evening. She is host of the She Lead Showcase Inside the Mind of In the Crowd, the Katie Horror Showcase, and Storytime with Miss Katie Kinsey Bay.
Hi, that's me. Hello.
And my favorite ginger, the man with all of the IQ in the cage, from the Wrestling Bros podcast, Circle of Debate, all of the lovely places that you have seen him do things. My inside track to everything New Japan, even though the Great Okan didn't win and he should have. Dan Bagley.
Hola.
What are we here to do, guys? What are we doing today?
Well, we're redoing a franchise because, guys, let's call it space pit. It didn't go too well first time around. We can just blame Vince.
Yeah, no, we're down. I'm down for blaming Vince. He fucked me up. It was a bad day. I had a bad show. It happens. So we said we're gonna do this shit over. And we had Dan here last time. And I felt bad because we brought Dan on as a guest specifically to do this, and it went shit. And I was like, I feel like a bad friend for bringing Dan on for this shit show. So we're gonna bring him back, and we're gonna do it right with the new format where I ask you guys about a movie, you tell me if you spit or swallow, and then we bullshit about the movie, and it's gonna be fun. Always blame Steve.
Always blame Steve.
And it kind of fits. It kind of fits because we're getting a second chance at life with this episode. So
look at you making connections. But before we cheat death and give this a second go, I have a couple things I need to talk about, specifically youtube.com/Creation World, which is probably where you're watching us live right now if you're watching us live, or later on after the fact. But there, it is free to like, to subscribe, to comment. Katie, what does that do?
Boosts the algorithm and helps find new listeners.
That's correct. And why is that important?
Because you're a whore.
Who, me?
Who, you?
Me? Yeah.
You.
Yes. Whore. For your likes, for your comments, for your reviews, for your attention. That's why we do this every other week. And then Smack and Raw every week, except for the next 2 weeks. It's a thing. But we're here pretty much every week, whether it's Creation Conversation, Smack and Raw, or Getting Off. You will find one of those shows and hopefully something to entertain you. And if not you, introduce me to your parents, step siblings, cousins, grandparents. I'm not opposed to gilfs. Whatever or whoever you're like, you know what, these guys are kind of entertaining and my family might enjoy them or my friends might enjoy them. Or if you think we absolutely suck and you want to punish somebody, tell your worst enemy about us. Make them go listen to us. Be like, yeah, I know. As long as I get the views, I don't care how you feel about me. Just keep watching. Give me the attention. Whether you like me or you hate watch me, I'm good either way.
Fair enough.
What I need you to do regardless is, though, while you either like me or hate watch me, I need you to flick that bean. Hit that notification bell. Get notified every time we go live every Thursday, 6:30 p.m. Central Time, 7:30 Eastern for Creation Conversation. Every Saturday, except for the next 2 Saturdays, 9 p.m. Central, 10 p.m. Eastern for Smackin' It Raw, and every other Friday, 9 p.m. Central, 10 p.m. Eastern, except for our next episode, because our next episode will be on Halloween. So you can come check us out on Halloween for our next episode. For the show, Getting Off.
Yeah.
And it's a special Halloween episode, so come tune in, Halloween, 9 p.m. Central, for our next episode. But while you're here, you guys might also be at twitch.tv/Creation World, where if you have Amazon Prime, you have Prime Gaming, you put those two together, you get a free sub, and then you can give that to your favorite Twitch streamer. Hopefully it's us. If it's not me, could be Katie, could be our friends over at BotchBots and Chair Shots, could be anyone you know that you love who is on Twitch streaming. Make sure you don't let that free sub go to waste and you show somebody some love. They're out here working hard to entertain you. If you like them, if you enjoy watching them, if you enjoy the content that they make, just, throw them that free sub. If you can afford to, throw them a paid for sub. But if you got the free sub, throw that to them. Show them a little bit of appreciation. We would all appreciate it. We love knowing that people like us, care about us, and want to support us. So,
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
that's it. All right,
Yeah.
guys. We are here for Final
Ow.
Destination.
Yeah.
So I guess we start with Final Destination 2000. I don't really think I have to ask this question, but I'm going to ask it anyway. Final Destination 2000. Spit or swallow?
Dan, would you like to go first?
I'll let ladies go first. I'm always a gentleman, so.
We're not getting specifics yet, right? We're just doing overall.
Just spit or swallow?
It is swallow, 100%.
Definitely a swallow. Big time.
Swallow. I mean, it is the movie that started the franchise. Katie, would you like to tell us specifically why you're swallowing this movie?
Devon Sawa. One of Desi. A baby faced Devon Sawa. No, it's the entire cast specifically. This movie's goated. Fuck off, Tommy. The entire cast. Tony Todd, Ali Larder, babyface Devon Sawa. I can never remember the guy who plays Carter. I can never remember his name for some reason.
Which one was Carter?
Is he the one from Dawson's
Smith?
Creek?
You both said something at the exact same time, huh?
He said the one from Dawson's Creek. I said Kerr Smith. He was the shitty jock in the car, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Kerr Smith. Love Kerr Smith. He's also in My Bloody Valentine remake, which is not a bad movie. That is a wand in his hand, by the way. Tis a wand. Disney. Yes. No, the cast, incredible. This is probably my favorite cast.
You forgot
of all
Stifler.
Time.
Yeah, Sean William Scott.
Sean William Scott.
What do you got against Stifler?
I mean, he's all right.
He did a movie with The Rock.
He did.
I like that movie.
I love you too.
I didn't say yes to Disney. I'm not going. There was a hurricane. I'm not going to Disney.
Well, there was a hurricane. Now
there's another one on the way.
Really?
More than likely, yes.
Do they come in threes?
It's like celebrity deaths, probably.
Do you come in threes, Bakley?
I would hope not.
So Katie swallowing the cast. Bakley, what about you? What do you like about this movie?
I like the cast. I like just a little bit Easter eggs in it. I talked to you about it a little bit earlier with the YouTube thing I sent you. I like the Easter eggs. Just it's always like the original film.
Hold on. So yes, you sent me a video.
Yeah.
And I'm assuming you watched the video.
Yeah.
Okay. So what
that'd be kind of
Easter
weird
eggs?
if he sent you a video and just didn't watch it.
What Easter eggs were there in the first movie that you appreciated?
Everything basically coincides with the trip to Paris.
That'll come later in the franchise as we get back to it. Yeah.
Just in the first one, the numbers on the flight, you keep seeing 180, red, white, and blue. If you look at Sean William Scott, he's always wearing red, white, and blue attire throughout the movie.
Okay.
And just in general, like I believe it's at the end, the bus is red, white, and blue. Just these little small nuances. Water. At almost every time somebody died, there was water nearby.
Clear Rivers.
Yeah.
I hate that. That's her name. That's a spit. Her name.
Well, we're not there yet.
Just saying.
Because I am me. I had cast first. Katie took that. So next up, Miss Luton, who was fucking hot. I'm swallowing it for the teacher. She was. She was
beautiful. I'm not disagreeing with you. I was just not. You were just very specific.
Ali Larder is also very attractive.
Ali Larder.
But honestly, in all seriousness, for me, it was Tony Todd as the coroner slash the embodiment of death, or the representation of death.
Yeah.
The
The voice
harbinger
of
of death.
death, harbinger of death. Yeah, no, I love Tony Todd. I love seeing Tony Todd in these movies. He will go away and then come back, and I got really excited when he came back. So we'll get back to that.
Yeah.
What else you got, Katie?
I mean, just the plot in general, like the idea of cheating death and death coming back around and being like, haha, surprise, got you, bitch. Like, it wasn't, to my knowledge, that wasn't something that was like an idea that had been done before, at least to this extent. So it's a unique idea, especially for the time and all of the remakes and all of the things that happen nowadays. And just, it was very interesting. I mean, just a cool idea, and it made for a very good movie.
Okay. To Dan.
Just a little bit of piggyback off of it. Just the element of surprise, because in the movie, like, they show you one thing when it comes to death, and then you think that's how they're going to die, and then boom, they surprise you with something right afterwards. It's not exactly to what like the premonition is. It just is the lead up to the death. So they kind of surprise you with each one of those.
Yeah. I appreciate that Alex in 2000 was, representative of somebody on the spectrum. Clearly ADHD, if not slightly autistic. He was already superstitious before the movie even started. He kept the tag from his last flight on his bag because in his mind, that plane landed safely. So as long as the tag stayed on, this plane would land safely. And he did get off the plane before anything bad happened.
It did not.
But he was safe. And his bag kept him safe. Now, also, this sense of anxiety and obsession over everything that happens is what helps him kind of start solving death's design. It's also what made him look very fucking guilty all of the time. Because he couldn't let shit go and kept showing up at the wrong place at the wrong time trying to stop it. But also being so involved, he forgot one very important minor detail, and that was that he switched seats when he was trying to figure out what Death's design was, which came into play in the movie as everything was going through, including Death throwing literally everything but the kitchen sink at Clear, trying to kill her.
Bro, like, why was hers so aggressive?
Yeah.
Because women.
Hers, the teachers, like, they were so dramatic. Like, everything with the teacher, like, that whole scene is crazy. Like,
I love how it's always like you think it's going to be this, and then you think it's going to be this, and then you think it's going to be that, and it ends up being this instead in the end,
Yeah. I mean, well, it's because, like you said, like Alex, it's like little clues, like, throughout about what's going to happen or what he thinks will happen. It might, like, when Todd's name was like on a piece of paper in a magazine or something, and it like blew there, and he saw it, and you knew. Like, it's just little shit like that. I love the details in this movie.
And he has like books in his room that like coincide with a few of the deaths in the movie. Like, there's so many clues that they give you. It's so hard to remember them all. Like, there's books in there. They show you clues in Claire's house. There's one, his best friend's death is the only one that's used with liquid, and it's the only one throughout the movie where the liquid kind of comes out and then disappears again. If you think about it, it's only like supernatural effect of a death, and it's his best friend.
Yeah.
That's what I love about these movies, though, is you can go back and watch them 100 times, and the more you pay attention, the more things you catch, and the more things you notice, and it's almost like you always find something new watching the movie. It's never like, oh, I've sat down, okay, this is this, blah, blah, blah. Like if you really like these movies and you're into them, you'll find something new. Oh, I never noticed that before. Oh, that's there, and it makes the movie interesting every time you watch it.
Yeah.
Do you guys have any more swallows before we get into our spits?
This one, I think, compared to a lot of the other movies, like has the most like realistic deaths. Like they're not so over the top. Like some of them can kind of get later, but I mean, like the weirdest one is like the random shower line. Like that's probably like the one that you don't see or expect. But
It was
everything else, like
2000. Things were different back then.
true. So, but like looking at it now,
Yeah.
it's
I don't
it's
know. Any of you out there listening or watching, do you still dry your clothes over your shower through, you know, fucking you hang that in the bathroom, maybe in like an apartment or something? Or did watching this movie change all of that for everyone? Because like,
I mean, this movie made people afraid to fly. Each movie gave someone an irrational fear.
I will say, I think for me it was the shower and slipping in the shower. I think
Okay.
that was my traumatizing moment, was the slipping in the shower, and like that's what I
Strangling yourself with a cord.
possible. Well, that's why I make sure I have bars, no cords, and now I've got glass doors in a stand-up shower, which means worst case scenario, I slip and fall and break through the glass door and just cut myself to death.
Could happen.
Could happen.
I don't
Showers
know.
are dangerous, bro.
They
Clowns
are.
climb out of the drains. Fucking people get hung.
We're not talking
Apparently,
about
you
it.
got to watch out for debris under trains because it's going to behead you.
Realistic.
Yeah.
Not that I would know anything about that, but yes, realistic.
I'm just saying. Crazy
Bacon, you
shit.
got any other swallows before we go on to spits?
No, because the one that I have kind of coincides with the second movie too. So
Okay. Katie, what didn't you like about this movie, if
Why
anything?
the fuck is her name Clear? Of all names you could have used. There's even one name that gets repeated in a later movie for a character, which I found out when I watched the kill count earlier today because I didn't have time to watch the last two movies. You could have named her anything. Could have named her Claire. No, Clear Rivers. Clear Rivers.
Want to know what's funny about that? I think in the third or fourth movie, the water company is named Clear Rivers.
It's the fourth one.
I think I have that in my notes. Speaking of Clear, my issue is Alex and Clear's relationship. How they got together, how quickly they fell madly in love with each other via trauma bonding. Like the more people that died, the more in love they became. And Clear only fucked with Alex because Alex, like, maybe not, maybe she liked his personality, but the way I saw it was, she's like, oh, this guy knows what's going to happen. And like, the more people died, the more attracted she became to him because like, I got to keep him safe and alive so that I can live.
I mean, it could have been that. I mean, are we gonna talk about the alternate ending that they like shot but like didn't really release?
Yeah, go ahead.
They have like a baby. Things are weird. I don't get it. They like that was jumping a shark for an alternate ending, I think.
Well, I put in here along with the trauma bonding that Alex is way too smart for some high school kid, but then sacrifices himself to save Clear, who he's been dating for maybe a couple of weeks. And was he not clinically dead from the power line? Because like, so one of the issues that I'm going to have going forward is in each movie, they give us a different way to cheat death the second time. They tell you if this happens or that happens or blah, 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 blah. And none of it ever fucking works. Like, it's all bullshit anyway. There is no cheating death. Death will come for you no matter what you try and do. No one is safe. But I mean, one of the ways is if you die or if somebody dies and then is brought back to life. I believe that's the second movie is where we come across that loophole. Then line is broken, and I'm pretty sure that power line, he was dead and then came back to life.
Isn't that why it skipped him though?
But it's not supposed to skip him. It's supposed to end it, is what the second movie tells us.
Well, in the second movie, we don't know this.
Yeah.
Different logic, different movies.
Well, but if he had died, and Clear's in the second movie, so it is canon. She is still hiding from death. We're not in the second movie yet. We'll get there, but
we're not there.
That is a spit for me. That's about like their relationship, and then the lack of like continuity. I guess it is continuity because okay, so you're told this is how you cheat death, but there really is no way to cheat death, so people just like false hope. I guess I don't know, but it's like, oh well, Jason, you can kill Jason by drowning him, or you can kill him by stabbing him with this dagger. You can't kill Jason. Well, you can kill Jason, but he's just going to come back to life. You can't kill Michael Myers. Jason will die.
So you can't kill Michael Myers?
You can't kill Michael Myers.
Pretty sure he's dead, but okay. This is neither here nor there.
Now, but that movie doesn't count because it sucked.
We're not here to talk about this.
What else you guys got for spits?
I don't like the fact that we don't really see Alex die, because if you think about it, he's alive at the movie, and then the start of the second one, he's not there. And they just make you think about how he died by something that Claire says, but you don't really get that. And they were going to shoot a deleted scene of it, but they never did.
Well, also, they get on a plane at the end of the movie to finally go to Paris. And they kind of leave you on that thought, like, they're not sure if they actually beat death or not, that they were going to die on the plane, but then Claire's alive come the second movie. So obviously that plane didn't blow up. So, like, that suspense, that cliffhanger they left you on at the end of the movie, like, are they going to die in this plane crash again? Doesn't happen.
I don't think there's really much suspense there, though, because then they're just chilling in a cafe in Paris, so I don't think there's really suspense in the second plane.
They had to fly back, though.
Okay, but we don't see the flight back. We see
we
Carter
don't see the flight there or back.
We see them getting their luggage off of the plane to Paris at the end, like 3 months later or whatever the hell. And then we see them chilling in Paris. And then all hell breaks loose in Paris. And Carter got.
That's what I'm saying is, like, so now they're like, oh, shit, did we beat it? And they still have to fly back because she's back in America. So, like, they have to get back on a plane somehow to get back home.
Maybe after they cheated death on the plane, they were like, oh, well, it's not going to be a plane. There's no way.
That's real smart.
Oh, my God.
Final Destination logic.
You guys got anything else on the first movie? Spits? Let's talk about the kills. A plane full of people explodes and dies. Todd got the Adam Page special in the shower. Terry is hit. What?
That's crazy.
Terry got hit by a bus. Miss Luton gets fucked up. Her throat is cut from computer glass after it explodes. Knives stab her, and then her house explodes because women get it worse. Billy gets decapitated by shrapnel from the car that got hit by the train. Listen, I'm no expert, but if I were an expert, my advice to anyone listening to this podcast is to never, ever, ever, in any way, shape, or form, for any reason whatsoever, stop on railroad tracks. Hands down, period. It is the dumbest thing you could do in life. But that's not just coming from someone who knows what they're talking about.
That's just good general knowledge.
Logic.
Not do that. Like, yeah.
And then Carter gets killed by a sign in Paris after saving Alex. Because you can't cheat death.
Because he said, it skipped you. And then just pop.
Boom.
You like the Hangman special, though?
That was crazy. That's wild.
All right. Final Destination 2. Katie, spit or swallow?
Well,
let's get this out of the way. Is there a movie that we're going to talk about that either of you spit, or is it going to be unanimous swallows for all 5?
I'm spitting one of them.
Okay, you're spitting one. Bakley, you got a spitter. You swallow.
I'm on the ropes with one of them. Yeah.
Okay. Then we'll keep going.
I think we might be on the same page.
Final Destination 2. Spit or swallow?
I swallow it.
And I swallow it as well. All right. Now I'm going to start with you, Bakley. What'd you like about this movie?
What I liked about the movie, it's one of the things that I said coincides with the first one. I like how they use through each death, they're using the music, and it's the same song throughout. It's Rocky Mountain. They use that song, whether it's on the radio, if you listen to it in the elevator, they're playing it with elevator style music of Rocky Mountain. But you hear it, like I like the fact that they have like a theme with it where they use that song throughout the whole movie.
All right.
Okay.
This is the first movie in the franchise, but not the last. But it is me, so I'm going to do it. We got biker titties. Swallowing titties. In my Final Destination movies. And it started a trend that died off later, and I got sick. But shout out to number 2 for starting a beautiful trend. We love titties around here. What?
Nothing.
Am I incorrect in making that statement?
No.
Okay.
Nope.
Katie, what about you? What do you got?
All the connections to the first movie.
You mean like starting off with a late night TV show analysis recapping the whole first movie in the beginning?
That just 180, like 180 in general, like it's like highway 180 or whatever, like when the construction stuff, and like obviously Clear, like she's there. We find out what happened to Alex. Tony Todd
returns.
Shout out. It was, I think it was and then finding out that all of the survivors from this one coincided with the survivors from the last one, and had they not survived the plane crash, then none of these people would be here.
Yep.
Very smart, very cool. I like it.
Domino effect. These people lived, and then they affected people who should have died and kept them alive, and now death has got to come back. What about you, Bakley? Anything else swallow-wise?
I like the fact that they introduced, like you said, to kind of switch things up, to bring in a life. It kind of saves the pattern, or at least one person. And the person that they're talking about, ironically, works for a florist, and she was bringing the flowers to the 1-year anniversary of the high school from the first movie.
Well, the person they thought that they were talking about, they thought it was the baby, and then they found out she didn't die.
Yeah.
She was safe.
Surprise.
Which, that really sucks when you remember that one vital piece of information after spending all of this time trying to make sure that her baby is born. Oh shit, wait, she was on the side of the road. She lived.
Where's the pregnant lady with the white van?
But since you brought that up, I think one of the biggest swallows from this movie is the fact that so every movie except for one, in my opinion, has a major disaster.
Yeah.
All right. So the plane explosion. Mm-hmm. This one is the pileup on the expressway. It's not Expressway 180 though, because I actually did check that to see if everything was 180. I don't remember what it was, but it was not Expressway 180. It was something else. But
180 shows up on that sign though. I don't remember how, but like it does.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe it was Exit 180 or something. But the pileup. I mean, literally, it says movies that traumatized a generation. I don't think any movie in this franchise affected as many people as much as this movie did in that fucking log truck. Everyone you talk to will not drive behind a log truck from our generation, and because Katie's not my generation. Katie's a generation behind me.
I'm a millennial.
Yeah. So, like, no, we're all fucked up from that goddamn log truck.
Yeah.
I don't think we're the only people. I don't think we're the only people fucked up. If you're watching the movie, you got somebody drinking, you got somebody doing pot, somebody smoking. They're all under the influence, driving in that right before that accident.
We're like log trucks. Bakley's like terrible people behind the wheel doing illegal things.
Drugs, alcohol, and nudity all happening simultaneously. But I mean,
kid with his trucks smashing them together, and it wound up happening.
Well, my thing was, and the thing that actually kind of freaks me out, I think about a lot, especially because, like, I'm sure we all drive, we all have water bottles and things in our car, is the water bottle getting stuck under the brake pedal and her not being able to brake.
I do not have a water bottle in my car.
You don't drink water bottles in your car, though? Ever?
No.
Do you not drink water?
I do. Not in my car.
Do you drink in your car at all? Not alcoholic beverages?
It depends. If it's like a can, like if I have like an energy drink, then yeah. But if it's like a bottle, then no.
Okay. But yeah, no. I think about that.
I freak out when that happens. If I'm drinking and something falls, I'm like, oh shit.
Yeah, no, like the idea of a water bottle rolling under your brake and preventing you from being able to brake, like that is also fucking terrifying, and I feel like it's skipped over because that is very much a realistic possibility of something that could happen.
All of them are. That log truck has killed somebody before.
Mm-hmm. We got anything else swallow-wise before we get into our spits? Because we talked about the disaster, we talked about titties, we talked about the news. Clear and Tony Todd, everyone's alive because they were someone who lived that shouldn't have from Flight 180. So, except for one thing on my list that covers everything on my swallows. Katie, you're baking. You got anything else?
I have one thing.
Okay.
At the end of each movie, we see some other type of like disaster or like something like the main characters typically don't survive the end of the movie. First one, kind of yes or no, because like we see Carter get hit, but then we don't see anything else. This one, I forget her fucking name. I know her as JJ from Criminal Minds. That's AJ Cook to me.
Kimberly?
So, yeah. Kimberly and Sexy Cop Man. They're alive at the end. They're alive. The kid gets blown to bits, but like they're alive. Everyone else, like every other movie, they don't survive.
To be fair, because we haven't got there yet, so far, Clear and Alex survived at the end of that movie.
Yeah, that's why I said besides one, because like we see like one of the main three die.
So we're on a trend that'll change going forward. Because Kimberly and Sexy Cop Man.
Okay, I wrote it down. I was like, is that what I said? Am I wrong?
What about you, Bagley?
I think we covered everything that I wanted to actually cover.
I like that because this is the second movie. Death hit him with an Uno reverse and switched up the order. So you can't go back and be like, all right, so we found Clear, and Clear said this is Death's path, so we just need to watch this. He's like, nope, Uno reverse. We're going to run that shit backwards, and I'm going to start killing from the end of the line all the way back up to Kimberly, which, by the way, we're not there yet. I'll get there when we get to kills. But what about spits? What didn't you guys like about this movie?
I don't like the fact that you got a guy that wins the lottery literally the day of, and you see him, it's like everything about him is just a mess. Like with everything with his apartment, like he doesn't give a shit.
His big watch.
It's like he was too easy of a target.
Karma. Death said, perfect. I want this one.
This guy, he was like living like a bum, basically.
He was. This is true.
I mean, he just won. He was on his way up. He got his new car. You know, he was still working. He didn't get far enough to get out of his shitty apartment. And listen, I feel like money doesn't change you instantly. All right, like if you're living off fucking old Chinese and shit, and that's what you got, like, you're still living off old Chinese for a little bit while you get situated. Like, you can't, money doesn't wash away the white trash.
Why aren't you double checking your Chinese before you put it in a thing to heat it up?
Well, yeah.
Like, I feel like that's just like smart to do, but what do I know?
One thing that really bothered me, so Kimberly stops the traffic from getting on the expressway, and then everyone sees this pileup, this massive, just like destruction and all of this death. And they go to the police station, they give their, and everyone's like, can we please get back in our cars and leave? Now, the last thing I'd want to do is hop in my car and drive fucking anywhere after witnessing that. But everyone's like, I need to go. I've got places to be. I need to get behind the wheel again. It's like, you just saw a shit ton of people blow the fuck up and die in their cars. Like, the last thing I want to do is hop in a car and get on the road and go.
Literally, and you watch the car in front get blown to smithereens by a truck. What makes no? If I'm at the police station, I'm like, I'm staying here forever now. You can't get rid of me. I'm not going home. I'm not getting in the way.
I'll walk everywhere.
I'll take a scooter, rollerblade, perhaps.
I really like this movie, but I realized I have a surprising amount of spits for this movie. So there's that. What do you got, Katie?
I didn't write anything down because I was just like watching the movie. So I wasn't like top of my head. Death really starts like pushing some boundaries. Yeah, like we get a little kooky here and there, but some deaths taking liberties, like the fence blowing up and perfectly cutting him in half.
Look cool as fuck, though.
Did look cool as fuck. Loved it, but that the grill blowing up at the very end and his arm landing perfectly on the table, like, come the fuck on.
In front of his mom.
Movie shit.
So we talked about, one of my spits was it's Route 23, not 180. But with that, so what's up, Will? This happened. So this accident happens a year to the day that Flight 180 happened.
Crazy.
And we talk about how we love lore, right?
We do love lore.
We could have done something cool here where we talked about why May 13th is so special for death, why it's happening a year to the day, what's significant. I know it's not Friday the 13th because it couldn't be Friday the 13th 2 years in a row on the exact same day. That's not how calendars work. But there was never, they dropped that in there, but they never really gave us anything more to the fact that, hey, 2 major accidents a year apart to the day happened. The touching people thing was cool, but like the significance of the day, which I thought was going to be something because they made a point of mentioning that, ended up being nothing, and that kind of let me down. And then we didn't see that going forward. It was not like every movie took place on May 13th.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's very possible like all of these things could have happened on the May 13th. We'll never know.
Yeah.
These two for sure, but we don't know. Well, we know about the last one.
Yeah.
But
definitely did not happen on May 13th.
Jesus.
Ended on May 13th. You got anything else, Bakley?
This one baffles me with Claire coming back, of course, for the second one. How does that work if you have death and you have the line of where it affects people who cheat death? She's in the second one, so that's what I want to know, because maybe it went over my head. Like, where does it play with her, like, in the line of things, because she's still alive?
So I'd really have to look into this, but my theory is when death hits them with that Uno reverse, maybe it's not really an Uno reverse. Maybe death is killing them in the order of the people that death was going to originally kill them that got saved and were supposed to die in the order they were supposed to die. So, like, and then Clear dies in the spot that she would have died if she had affected somebody and saved him, which she ended up doing, and then he died at the end. So
because I'm like, she wasn't part of this tragedy that was supposed to happen and affect them, but she was part of the first one. So it's like, how do you fit that into this one? without making a mess of everything.
I'm just mad that she survived this long to leave the safety of her padded cell just to die.
And like, again, horrific flames, fiery death for clear rivers. Stupid.
Like a river. Anyway.
Great song. No, see, now I want to like look into like what you were saying. If
we got to get the fucking whiteboard out with the strings.
Yeah.
I might tonight.
Make a PowerPoint and then we'll put it up. We'll post it.
I'll make a I love PowerPoint.
I know you do.
PowerPoint.
Also, so I love Tony Todd. I don't love that Tony Todd's like New Life breaks the cycle and just straight up lied. Like straight up lied to these people.
He's a liar.
He is like very fucked up. And I think that his name is Bloodworth. And they're like, what are you doing? Why are you everywhere people die? And he turns around and he's like, because I'm the fucking coroner, bro. Like
he said, because y'all bitches keep dying.
Yeah.
Where do you want me to go? The fuck?
You guys got anything else? Because I got a couple more.
I mean, I told you I didn't write anything down, so I have nothing.
Some random kid at the gas station told Clear to suck on my junk, biatch, which is the most 2003 thing that did not age well.
Yes.
Asking a stranger to get rid of your drugs and porn so your mom doesn't find it when you die. Because
wild.
We don't know he didn't know Kimberly when he said, yeah, you guys went through a traumatic event like a day ago. But you don't know someone well enough to be like, hey, listen, can you get rid of my stash so my mom doesn't find it? My coke and my porn.
It's such a combination.
And speaking of Clear's death, my last thing. This bitch had a clear vision of someone driving a van and drowning, and it was a white woman's hands. And she's telling him, we need to save a life. And Clear's like, oh, it could be Eugene. And she didn't say, no, the hands were a white woman's. It's not Eugene. Eugene will be all right. Like, she just let Clear run off to go save the black man, knowing that she saw the hands. Like,
I mean, I think Clear was just like in the mindset of wanting to save Eugene anyways.
Yeah. I get that, but you don't say, hey, no, the hands were a white lady.
Traumatic.
Let's find the white lady.
A white man? No. Listen, trauma does crazy things to people. I'm telling you. Yeah. They're not thinking logically. They try to, and then they fuck up.
All right. So kills. All of Kimberly's friends in her SUV get killed by a car transport semi, along with all of the people on the expressway. Evan gets impaled through the eye by a fire escape ladder after escaping a fire and slipping on spaghetti that he tossed out the window because littering is bad.
Did you notice on the side of the fridge, he had the alphabet and the H in the shape of a ladder, of course, falls down just like the ladder falls down when it
falls into his Chinese food.
Yeah.
I did not pay attention to that. That's actually great though. See, I'm going. I did not get a chance to. I'm going to go back and watch that entire video you sent me of all the Easter eggs and little things, and then I'm probably going to rewatch the movies again and look for all of the Easter eggs. Yeah. But Tim, the boy with the water bottles, the drumming, crushed by glass. Jesus. Mom has to watch it. Survives for a little bit.
Then gets decapitated.
She gets decapitated in an elevator. Or no.
Wild.
Yeah, no. And what the fuck was that creepy dude doing with all those fucking mannequin parts and hooks?
There's a
weird,
creepy man in every movie.
There's a weird, creepy man in everything, Katie. You
I know.
Podcast with one every week.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. Kat is impaled by a PVC pipe after her airbag goes off when they're trying to use the jaws of life to get her out of the car.
Which why y'all didn't fix it. That irritated me.
Katie's favorite kill, Rory, dissected by barbed wire fence.
Doesn't even watch.
Super realistic.
Super.
Clear and Eugene get barbecued in the hospital.
Disrespectful.
And then the kid that Rory saved gets blown up while barbecuing.
Yeah.
Fucking Mickey Malkovich from Shameless. Crazy.
Was that Mickey Malkovich from Shameless?
I'm 90% sure. I'm looking it up.
Holy shit! I think you're right.
I also think I'm right, but I'm gonna double check myself because I can't remember his like actual name. So Mickey Malkovich.
Just gonna look at the cast.
Yeah. Fuck, which one am I right to? Cast. Oh my god, click buttons, Jesus. Yeah, Noel Fisher.
All right. You guys got anything else on 2 before we move to 3?
No. Sexy Cop Man and Kimberly. Shout out to JJ from Criminal Minds.
All right. John is trying to get me to play Fortnite. And I'm trying to tell him I'm busy. So,
God damn it, John.
well, so now Fortnite, I got Billy from Saw, and Leatherface is supposed to drop. It was supposed to drop today, and it didn't. And my gamer tag is TNT Leatherface, so like I need Leatherface because I am Leatherface. Even though Katie hates Leatherface. So, Final Destination 3, 2006. Spit or swallow.
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 All right. I'm on the fence with this one, and I'm going to kick this one off, and here's why. Because honestly, I had more spits for 2, but I feel like I enjoyed 2 more. So, I feel like the roller coaster is a less than disaster compared to the previous movies. The pileup on the expressway and the plane crash seem more extensive than the roller coaster. I feel like the way the movie ended was a bigger tragedy than the way the movie began. And if we had started with the train, the subway train, and ended with the roller coaster, I think I might have liked this a little bit more. Just a small thing. So I'm a little bit on the fence of how we started off the movie with the tragedy, but crazy kills. Katie, what did you enjoy about this movie?
The roller coaster. I think it was the first 3 movies are, again, irrational fears that people have. Plane crashing, and in that case, exploding. Pile up / log trucks because they're dangerous. Roller coaster derailing and killing people. That is true. That has happened countless times to people. I think it was smart to do it like that. And like there's so much that happened like at the park, and shout out to Tony Todd, we hear his voice as the big demon thing. We don't get to see Tony Todd, but we get to hear Tony Todd. It's a win. It's a small win. But like all the stuff that happened at the park like impacts the movie later. So I feel like if you started in the subway train, it wouldn't make as much sense in the movie. You know?
Fair. I mean, if she had the vision and then everyone on the subway train had survived, like I get what you're saying, but like I feel like we could have done something similar. What about you, Bakley?
You start seeing premonitions from the main character in these movies where they sort of see what's about to come. It's not very clear, so they have to like use the context clues to try and figure out what's going on. But they get like some sort of hint, like, oh, something's about to happen.
This was the pictures from
her camera.
Yeah,
she was going through the pictures and then using that, and that's what I like about these movies up until now is even like in the premonitions or even here, like you're looking at pictures, you're looking for context clues. There's one movie we're going to talk about where I feel like it was really dumb how they did that, but I do like the use of I agree with you here, using the pictures to figure out how people are going to die.
Smart.
Once we get into 3D bullshit, I'm not going to be so happy about it. But we talked about no, you know what? Fuck it, I'm going to do this one. My first swallow, double the pleasure, double the fun, double the titties getting baked by fake sun.
Hey,
We had the biker in 2, Now we had two girls, one of which is Crystal Lowe, which, along with my swallows, we have Mary Elizabeth Winstead, Ryan Merriman, and Crystal Lowe in this movie, in the tanning salon. Double the titties for movie 2.
Mary Elizabeth Winstead. Love her.
Like, I feel like she's one of those scream queens that is in a lot of horror movies, but doesn't get like realized for because she's in
Black
Cloverfield
Christmas,
Lane, Black Christmas. Like, she does some
The
shit. Right?
Thing
Cloverfield Lane,
remake.
yeah. The Thing, yeah, no. I
Prequel?
think Mary Elizabeth Winstead deserves a little more love for her role as a scream queen than she gets.
She has such a realistic, like, blood curdling scream because like she's got a little bit of rasp in her voice too. It like gives you chills. Like her scream at the end, like when the subway all hell breaks loose. Oh, crazy. Give her all the awards for a movie that came out years ago.
You guys have covered all of my swallows so far. What else you guys got?
Bakley, do you have anything?
I think I like the fact that they kind of throw things out of the window. And it's like, oh, we're not going to keep a couple. We're going to keep the main woman, and then whose boyfriend dies, and then his friend who dates her friend. We're just going to kill her. So it's like, okay, these two people that don't really have any big connection other than the boyfriend and then his girlfriend who's friends with her. That's the only reason they would talk. So it kind of gets them to kind of socialize a little bit. So you see like their connection a little bit to grow a little bit from not really knowing each other to having to socialize because of this tragedy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which Christensen, where is she?
What are you looking up?
Her sister, Amanda Crew. She's been in shit too.
She's been in a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
Couldn't tell you what, but she's been in a lot of stuff. I mean, you'll talk about it like once we get the kills and everything, but or maybe you won't. I don't know. The symbolism. Okay,
No, go ahead.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
No,
I'll
no,
wait till you're done. No. It just I was looking at Amanda. I was looking at Amanda Crew's like thing, and she was in a 2016 movie called Chokeslam about a mild-mannered deli clerk finally gets a second chance to pursue his high school sweetheart, a notorious female professional wrestler, and she plays the female professional wrestler when she comes back for their 10-year. This is a movie. This is a thing.
Oh my god.
We should watch Chokeslam.
No. From the tanning beds on fire to the double casket. One of the best shots in cinema. Period.
Okay.
Iconic. I fucking iconic. I'm just saying.
You got anything else, Bakley?
That is it for Swallow.
All right, so I already gave you one of my two spits. My other spit is basically all of the characters in this movie are unlikable, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Very unlikable. Even, and I love Mary Elizabeth Winstead, but even her, like, she's kind of stuck up and bitchy and off-putting. Like, nobody in this movie is likable.
No, yeah, they all suck. I mean, that's a theme kind of going on from this movie forward. Like, the first two had redeeming characters. Sure.
Yeah.
Alex, Clear, stupid name, but like Clear, and Kimberly, and the hot, sexy cop man. Great. This movie, The other two movies, Like, we start to lose the character, and they're just like, hey, people who are going to die.
What about you guys? Spits?
For me, I thought it was crazy. Like, of course, guys in the weight room work out and it gets vigorous, but to have the fucking whole weight room shaken like it was to the point where the swords fall down, I'm like,
shake weights.
That's
Stop it.
To me, that was kind of unrealistic of a thing because it shouldn't happen, and they shouldn't be in a building where it's so unstable. that things are going to fall down and break down. This is like equipment.
Well, I feel like that goes back to Katie's point of, as the movies go on, the realistic aspect of how people could die gets farther and farther. Like, you know how many things had to happen to fry those chicks in that fucking tanning bed? Like,
literally.
However, I forgot about this as a swallow. So I started making a playlist of songs that, like, major songs in horror movies. And what popped that off was Red Hot Chili Peppers' Love Roller Coaster playing while they're in the tanning bed after the roller coaster. Like, how are you jamming out to a song about a roller coaster after everyone that, you know?
Because they were two dumb bitches. They didn't care.
They were sweet girls.
Okay.
They wanted to invite her to the party afterwards because they felt bad for her because her boyfriend. Like, they were nice girls.
Pity. They were
Pity
not
party.
Nice girls. It was pity party. Melanie Martinez.
But yeah, no, Love Roller Coaster playing. Fucking love that song.
I mean, it's a great song.
Of love.
I mean, it's a great song. So, like, I get it.
It is.
The pervy guy. Why? Like, again, there's one in every movie.
There's always one.
But he took it, like, he was like taking it too far. It is you. But like, he had like the pinup girl necklace. And
he even has the necklace too.
I was like, what?
I have not gone that far.
No, he sucked.
But he died cool. And that's the best thing about these movies is, like, even though like everyone in this movie is mostly unlikable, they all get their comeuppance. Like,
like the shitty characters usually get like the best death.
Yeah.
I like how he died, but I didn't like the lead up, like that vehicle just going straight, like exactly where it wanted to go, straight down and curved to the right into the drive-through just to do it.
Told you. Unrealistic.
Yeah.
However, the anxiety of knowing that you're trapped and seeing all of this stuff happen and you can't get out.
I would rather just kill me now.
Yeah.
No. Mm-mm.
Are we ready to talk about the kills?
Let's do it.
Yeah.
Everyone on the roller coaster that didn't get off, obviously.
Like 10 people.
Yeah.
Again, not a major tragedy.
Realistic.
Ashley and Ashlyn get deep fried in the tanning bed. The Love Roller Coaster. Engine blade to the back of the head of Frank, our creepy cameraman. And, just awful person. Lewis gets his head popped like a cherry by the weights. Shout out to for unstable weightlifting rooms. Aaron gets turned into Pinhead via a nail gun.
That one like makes me like cringe.
But behind too, which is worse.
Ian gets crushed by a sign with his name on it.
McKinley, right? Because that's his name.
Yep. Ian McKinley,
which is a theme
McKinley sign
in the movies too. McKinley.
Yep. Julie's friend gets impaled with a flag. We don't know what her name was. She's not.
We don't need to know her name.
Don't care.
Even when like they were going through and they were looking at the pictures and everything, they're like, there are these two people and we don't know who they are. And I feel like they just called her Julie's friend. So like, was what it was. Julie being Mary Elizabeth Winstead's sister.
Yes.
Kevin and Julie all die in a subway crash, but Wendy gets hit by a separate train after being thrown from the initial.
Which is crazy. It's like y'all couldn't like stop that, or there was no siren or anything, like a train derailed.
To be fair, again, not an expert on train things in any way, shape, or form. But depending on how fast the trains are moving, it does take a long time. You can't just like hit the brakes and the train. It's not a car. Like there's a lot of weight. I'm just saying there's a lot of weight, and there is a distance that it takes based on the speed that it takes for a train to stop. That is why I say don't park on the tracks, because by the time a train sees you and hits the brakes, it will not have enough time to stop before it slams into your car.
Train.
And did you notice in this movie, it's kind of the start of where right at the beginning of the ending big scene, you start seeing the clues from the other deaths throughout the movie.
Yes.
Where it happened. Like
the tanning salon and the McKinley hardware and
the fast food place. You see the
all the
there.
Shit.
Yeah, you start seeing that in this movie on top of the train where they do the advertisements.
Smart.
I think this is the movie that you guys are both not excited about. Final Destination 4, as Katie called it, but technically it's the Final Destination because we decided to be weird. Spit or Swallow?
Boo. Boo.
This is one I'm on the fence with.
Okay. So you're gargling undecidedly. Katie is full on hot.
Yeah. Boo.
In October.
Stop. It's not funny.
Vince loved October, or actually just loved October. As a matter of fact, hold on. I have a text here from Just after we did Young Kings Wrestling, and it says October too good. Just saying. So also write down October so I can put that in the thing.
Okay. Oh. Okay.
Bakley, Swallows. What did you like about this movie?
I did like the beginning scene because of the racetrack, but I'm also like hit or miss on it too because why are they racing in a racetrack that is kind of like just balled down at this point?
Falling apart.
Should be condemned.
It should be condemned. I thought they got a little bit creative with the deaths.
Like at the racetrack?
I did like that. Outside of the racetrack. I liked that point. And they kind of went away from some of the ordinary stuff and they did stuff creative, like with the going through the car wash. I thought that was cool. And then lead up to that, and then the guy in the ER having the fall on him, the pool fall on him.
The fucking tub? Like, what the fuck?
Yeah. But I like the creativity with some of the deaths.
All right. Katie, what about you?
Shockingly, I do have two swallows. Okay. One, George, the best and only actual character in this movie. He's the security guard.
Yep.
Everyone else sucks. George had backstory. George had like reasoning. The way he dies, bullshit.
Do you know who George is?
He is in Purge Electioneer and Force Gump.
Okay, so you do. I was going to say if you don't, I'm going to save it because I have what he is in the kills. We'll get there. Boobs. We had boobs again. 3 movies, boobs.
3 movies, 3 boobs.
It wasn't 3 boobs this time, but more boobs.
I'm writing that down because I think it's funny.
By the way, he's in Forrest Gump too, by the way.
Yeah, no, she said Forrest Gump.
I said that.
Yeah. Oh.
Yep. And like I said, when we get to kills, I'll reference that. We'll let you know who he is, but I think we all know. What about anything else, Bakley? You mentioned the Clear Rivers Easter egg from the water company.
Yeah. Movie. Yeah. I was going to say that again. The Easter egg there. I think it's very funny that they make a water company out of her name.
Because her name's fucking stupid.
Exactly.
What's your other thing, Katie? Was it boobs?
It was not boobs. It was the Mortal Kombat-esque X-ray things they did in the beginning and the end.
Okay.
Because it was unique and it was different, and I was like, oh, that's kind of cool. Like the ending, like, damn, that's crazy. Like that's really like some Mortal Kombat type shit. But the beginning, it was just like it was a cool way to see like deaths from the other movies in like an X-ray type way. So like a reimagination of previous kills we have seen. So I was like, all right, cool. That's one redeeming thing you guys get.
The only other thing I have is I've never really understood the appeal of NASCAR. However, watching this movie, I do understand the appeal of bikini tops and jean short shorts. So now I know why people go to NASCAR. And this helped me understand
that.
Okay. Listen, I don't know where you and I because like we're normally on the same page with this stuff, and I feel
I
like
just don't like this movie.
fair.
I told you I had 2 redeeming qualities about this movie, and I
We
said
can
them
still
both.
enjoy the aesthetics of what's going on in the movie and not like the movie.
Yeah, but
Aesthetics.
The fashion in this, like, I feel like of all of the movies, this movie specifically, for whatever reason, for me, like, the fashion was very apparent. Like, this is 2009. Like,
2000.
this is,
Yeah.
this is 2009, 2010. Like, more than any other movie I'm watching this, I'm like, I know exactly when this is taking place, just based on what everyone's wearing, what the girls are wearing, how they're dressed.
How their hair
Very
is.
2009. How their hair is, yeah, the poof thing, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That's all I have for Swallows. You got anything else, Bakley, before we go to Spits?
No, that's it for me.
All right. What didn't you like about this movie, Katie?
I'm so sick of movies trying to just do 3D for no reason whatsoever. This is the same year Saw 3D came out. Guys, why are we doing 3D? For who? Not for me. I hate that. That shit looks stupid and corny and tacky. They made the majority of these kills look shitty. Bad 3D. And on top of that, bad CGI. Because what the fuck?
So his visions, which is just like 3D fucking
That's Snake.
spikes and bullshit. Like nothing was really a vision. Like there was no lead into like, oh, this person, blah, 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 that we saw in the last movie. So like in the last movie, we had the pictures and then you could see that person and how they might die. Or like we'd get Alex seeing like a name and then some things, you know, or she had specific visions of like how people were actually going to die. This was just like some bad CGI things flashing in his head. Nick is the worst psychic protagonist in this entire fucking franchise. Hands down.
Yeah. It's like, why are you getting I Spy hints in shitty 3D? Like, I don't get it. Pisses me off. Bakley?
Bakley, what else?
For the love of God with me with this one, this guy goes through, I guess, hell in that fucking construction room at the end, gets his hand stapled to the wall, and then all we get after he gets the spray on to water everything to save the day. We don't even see him get rescued or anything. It's just 2 weeks later. We don't know how he gets his hand off. We just know 2 weeks later he has a cast on. Like, how do they find him? Like, what happens? Like I don't like how they just went from this to him already fine 2 weeks later.
I mean, they do some. I mean, in the first movie, Alex literally like basically dies, and then they're like, "Oh, 3 months later, airplane."
Yeah.
So like they have a tendency to do it, but this one was definitely the worst because like, what? Did they know where that fire alarm was going off? Like, why were you guys doing so much construction in a active mall? I got questions.
Did the women actually finish that movie?
We'll never know.
We will never know. Oh, my Instagram didn't fucking upload. God damn it. It failed, and now it won't let me repost it. It just wants me to delete it, which is
too late now. It's fine. We're already on the 4th movie. It's fine.
I used 9 Inch Nails too because it was in one of the Into the Hole
Use
was
it for
one of the
the
songs of the movies. Yeah. Now I gotta use Love Roller Coaster. No, there was really good music in all of this, by the way. What were you gonna say, Bakley?
Can I say a small swallow that I forgot about? It's very small. I like the fact that they're in the movie, and then you find out that originally, instead of doing what they did in the beginning at the racetrack, they were actually supposed to go to the movies to see that movie.
Yeah.
And our friend makes that comment.
Lovelace dying.
Yeah.
And then so does Nick.
Yeah.
I'm a little torn. So like if it wasn't for Hunt, we wouldn't have had boobs in this movie. However, I feel like Hunt really upped the ante for assholes in the franchise. Like, we had an asshole in every movie. It was Carter in the first movie, and then it was the fucking dude that won the millionaire. He didn't last very long, but yeah. And then in the last movie, again, it was the jock in the weight room was kind of like the big asshole in the movie, even though like the emo kids were also kind of dicks because they didn't believe shit until shit started getting fucked up. But again, everyone was unlikable in that movie. But like Hunt was a real fucking asshole, but he might be the most obnoxious of all the films.
I think you just need to take that H out and put a C. Perfect.
No.
Too, so.
In the last movie, it was to do with the camera, the creepy dude. Creepy dude.
Yes.
Also, speaking of terrible people, the racist tow truck driver,
whose name is also Carter.
Whose name is also what?
Carter.
Carter. Yeah.
That's what I mean. Why were you have a plethora of names at your disposal? It's the same franchise. Why the fuck are you naming someone the exact same name?
Because
as a main character
Katie,
No. Don't shut up. Don't do it. As one of your main three in the first movie, you're gonna be like, let's name this racist man Carter for funsies.
Fuck yeah.
Fuck you.
And was it me? Like, it has to be me. Or did his girlfriend look like she was pregnant? When they did like the still shot of her just standing at the steps, and he's like, just wait here. She looked like she was pregnant, but then they don't even mention it at all.
I didn't notice, so I cannot help you here.
It might just be how she looked. She looked
it
pregnant. It
could just be like
me.
The angle that they shot it, and they just made her look big, which is disrespectful. If that's the case.
By the way, big shout out to Krista Allen, the MILF, with the tampons in the kids' ears.
Yes.
She was in Anger Management. She was in Feast. She was in a bunch of shit, but another beautiful, beautiful woman.
Which, like, tampons in the kids' ears? That's interesting.
Hey, listen, you use what you can to plug their ears. It was loud. She was being protective.
Anyways.
No, there are no car wash attendants at this car wash.
No.
And then the biggest disappointment is this probably would have been the coolest kill in the movie, and then it didn't even happen. Like, they saved her, and I was sad about that. Like,
what do you think would have happened?
She would have drowned, or she would have been decapitated.
It was just like this.
They made it seem like she's this close to the thing, but it didn't look like it was sharp. It just looked like one of the.
That's what I'm saying. Like, what would have happened? Just
got her face scrubbed off.
Oh.
Like, imagine going through that, having the skin just like scraped, and then hot wax right on the face.
Unless that would have caused her to get hit by it and then hit her head back, and then she would have.
Or her hair gets caught and her neck gets broken. Her hair gets wrapped up in the thing, and see possibilities that we didn't get because they saved her.
All the possibilities.
They had to save Janet. But yeah, no car wash fucking attendants. Like, nobody was there to be like, hey, shit's freaking out. Something's going on. There's this woman screaming, electrical sparking. There's a problem. Like, nobody noticed at the car wash.
Nobody cared. Nobody cared.
Running that shit.
The pipe just
wasn't a gas station car wash. Yeah. So, I think that's all I've got for Spitz. What about you guys?
I have one more. There's no trace of Tony Todd anywhere in this movie. Disrespectful. Big spit. Because, like, how are you gonna have a movie like Final Destination? Like, you have him in the first two as a person, and then you have his voice in the third one, which is fair, close enough, but not even like a little sprinkle of Tony Todd in this one. Okay.
And I think there was actually someone else in this movie called Bloodworth, as if like they almost recast him. Hold on, I actually have it pulled up. Let me look. One of the movies had a different Bloodworth because I saw it in here when I was looking at stuff.
I don't think I noticed.
Mechanic, Nick, Lori, Janet. He was literally just racist in the comic, in the comics, and racist wife.
I love that.
So maybe it was the last movie or the next movie, but No, it can't be the next movie. I think maybe it was the last movie. There was another Bloodworth too, because I saw it in the credits. But
I know there's a block in the next one, but not a Bloodsworth.
might have been in the last one. I'll have to go back and look here in a second. But kills everyone at the racetrack that is trapped in the track, and also the mechanic's girlfriend getting hit by a tire. Shout out to the rubber crossover that we got there. One of Katie's least favorite horror movies made a comeback.
God damn it, that stupid fucking tire.
The racist gets dragged by his own tow truck and then set on fire, and then the truck explodes.
Yeah.
Because it wasn't enough.
Because
and what was the song that was playing during it too?
Why Can't We Be Friends?
Yes.
We be friends.
Which is just
it's kind of funny.
Yeah. You know what? Good. Fuck you. You deserved it.
Milk catches a rock through the eye. Like, all of this crazy shit is happening around her, and then the fucking lawnmower skips a rock right through her fucking head.
It's because she said, I'm keeping my eye on you.
So technically, the kids killed their mom because it was the kids that threw the rock.
Yep.
At the sign. They was throwing the rocks at the sign, and the one went right into there.
The kids and the dad escape in the beginning, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
The mechanic gets torpedoed into a fence that then impales him, and then chunks of him fall through the fence.
Shitty CGI.
Yep. Cowboy crushed by a therapy bath in a hospital after surviving because he moved. From shrimp boat captain to security guard, Bubba Gump fails multiple unalive attempts to be hit by an ambulance.
Which is crazy. He said, you know what? I'm sick of this. I'm just going to off myself. He said, I've tried. Which is not the first time in the franchise that has happened that someone has tried to kill themselves. And Eugene tries it in 2 and takes Sexy Cop Man's gun and 6 shots, and they take it 6 live rounds. Nothing connected. Yep. Crazy.
But because they didn't know the cowboy was still alive.
Yes.
It wasn't his turn.
After saving everyone from what would have been a really cool mall massacre, Nick, along with Lori and Janet, get hit by a truck in a coffee shop.
You skipped the best death of the movie.
Which was?
Hunt's.
Oh, yeah. I did.
By pressure.
Oh, no. I have it here. I did skip it. Hunt gets his asshole sucked through a public pool drain.
And then chunks of him fly up and land. Yeah.
Which is ironic.
Worst character, Beth Death.
He was an asshole, and then his asshole got sucked. Yep.
Yeah. All because his stupid little coin.
Yeah. His lucky coin.
Not so lucky now, is it?
Yeah.
I do like that his coin pops out of the drain after with the chunks of it.
Because the coin said, I'm still lucky, you're just not.
Yeah.
All right. Last but not least, Final Destination 5. And mind you guys.
Yeah, one point about the fourth one.
Okay.
Isn't it kind of ironic? What's the name of the coffee place where they died?
Death by coffee.
Death by caffeine.
Caffeine.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where they died.
Truck drives through the wall.
Yeah, just drives through it.
After everything that happened, I feel like I'm not drinking liquid death. I'm not going anywhere that has death in the title. Like, I'm still avoiding all that, whether I think I survived or not. And in this one, I think it was alluded to, like, if it was some dumb shit where it was another thing of like, how do we beat death? And the way they cheat death is,
I don't know what it is in this one. I know what it is in the next one, but I don't know what it is in this one.
Yeah, it was something stupid.
I think they think that if they evade it, then it erases the pattern. Or something
it's something stupid like that. Yeah.
No, it was dumb. All right. Final Destination 5 from 2011. Spit or swallow, Bakley?
I'm spitting this one.
Really? Okay. Katie?
Swallow.
I am also a swallow on this one, so this will be interesting. Bagley, why don't you tell us what you liked about it first?
If you liked anything.
I will say I liked how the ended, because it kind of is like a wraparound from the first movie.
Full circle.
Full circle. So I did like that.
Well, and then on that, so in the second movie, we find out that the people that survive because the people in the first movie survived are the ones being attacked, and now they go to kill these people at the end of this movie, and it just so happens that the people that survived the plane crash that were supposed to die in the plane crash. So, like you said, it's a tumble down, but it's like all of this stuff, like this affects this, and then that affects that, and then 3 says, "Fuck it, we're just gonna forget about all the cool shit and not make any tie-ins."
Stop hating on 3.
And 4 also did that dumb shit.
Well, 4 sucks in general. That's fine.
Worse. 4 was worse.
4's the worst one.
Katie, swallows.
These kills are wild. Jesus, this has one of in the past, because when this movie came out, 2011.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I would say in the past 20 years, we'll say. This is probably there's a specific kill that's probably in like top 20, maybe top 10, like most iconic kills.
Okay.
Do you know what I'm talking about?
You can let me know when we get to the kills.
I will.
For me, Olivia is a big swallow, and she looked even better with the glasses on than she did with the glasses off.
I was just about to pick which one is Olivia. Thank you.
No. Also, because we already talked about it, callbacks to other movies. There was a logging truck. There were songs on the radio as a prelude to death, and the return of Tony Todd.
Wow! Let's go.
What else do you like, Bagley?
If anything,
well, you just took a bunch of what I was going to say right there. I'll wait. I have just a few things on the deaths.
I was gonna say something I forget. These characters weren't all terrible.
Okay.
Redeeming, some of them, you could say. There is obviously the pervy one.
Always.
But always. But I think they like this one kind of, again, like going back to the first one, like the majority of their survivors like have at least like something about them that like you can be like, oh, that's like a real person. Them all drinking at their job when after everyone dies, like they're just like, yeah, fuck it, whatever, we're just gonna do this. And like being mad that certain people died, and they're real people. Like this movie made them seem like more real than the past like 2 movies, specifically the last movie, because Jesus.
For me, we talked about how this is a prequel to the first movie, but we don't find that out to the end of this movie. But Tony Todd, who returned, says that he's seen this before when they start asking him, like, what the fuck's going on? So that, in and of itself, even though they didn't fulfill it, set us up to pretty much go anywhere with this movie. Like, we could have gone back to the 80s, done a young Tony Todd becoming a coroner, or kept him the same age and just been like, oh no, he just never ages and he's always there. However they want to do it, but like it opens up the fact that this isn't something that started here. It's just continuing to go on, and could have made for so many cool tie-ins and movies to come out of the franchise to continue it. And it was just that one line. I've seen this before. As in, this isn't where it's going to seem like this is where it started, but it's not where it started.
Which makes me, because originally this was supposed to be the last movie, but now we know that Final Destination
was the Final Destination.
Well, that one sucks. This one's a better ending. For the franchise, we know Bloodlines is coming out
next year.
Yep. And Tony Todd, I believe, is like his character is supposed to have some relation to the movie. So, like, if there was like some way that they knew that later down the line they were going to make another one, and him saying that could be very interesting. Because I know, like, from the stuff I read about the last one that's going to come out, like, the girl has, like, premonitions or nightmares or something about something that happened to her grandma, like, in the 80s or some shit. So, like, that would be cool if they would do that. They're probably not going to. We're just grasping for straws here. But wouldn't that be cool?
Yeah.
Yeah.
My last swallow is Dennis disrespecting Isaac repeatedly, not knowing that Isaac lived or even who the fuck Isaac is, because Isaac sucks as a character. Like he's doing the eulogy and he mentions Isaac's name and Isaac's like, did he just say my name? And then they all laugh. And then later on, someone calls him out for it and he goes, isn't Isaac dead? And he goes, no, he lived. Like, Dennis just doesn't give a fuck about Isaac. And Isaac was a piece of shit. He was the creepy one that Katie talked about. All right. Fakely, you said you didn't like this movie. What are your spits?
Well, you named the big one, the fact that even though I do like the fact that it comes full circle, you have to name the Final Destination. Yeah, it's a prequel. I didn't like that. I didn't like that aspect. It's like if it would have just came out and said it was a prequel, then I would have got it. But
then
they were all called Final Destination. That would,
but
that
this
would
was
negate
the
every movie
Final
that happened.
Destination. Like this was the Final
4
Destination.
was the Final Destination. This was Final Destination 5.
Well, 4 was also technically Final Destination 3D, so it has multiple names. But Fast and Furious did that too. They named the first one The Fast and Furious, and then they named the fourth one Fast and Furious.
Yep.
I don't know. I just something felt off with this. Like maybe it's the fact that they had like a plot that was kind of could have been like a different movie from it, which was the whole thing with Molly and Peter. Yeah, Molly and Peter, I believe.
Yeah.
I just something felt off for me with this movie.
Okay. Katie, spit.
You talk about how, like, you see this traumatic thing happen to you, right? And then let's let whatever the fuck his name is go back to his side quest of trying to be a chef with all of the most dangerous equipment in the world, just hanging out.
So, yes and no, because like I also feel like, and I appreciate this about the movie, is like he was torn between his job and his passion. And I feel like I wish Will had made it for this, because Will understands this. Will's been there, and he's actually kind of going back to his side quest of being a chef, or maybe anyway, neither here nor there. We'll speak on that. But when something like this happens, you realize you take that risk and you go do the thing that you really want to do.
I just meant that, like, you're going back into a kitchen full of very dangerous things that could kill you after cheat death. That's what I mean. I don't mean fair. Like, no, pursue your passions, because fuck the real world. Pursue your passions, but like.
I also forgot to mention I enjoyed the fact that we added in another lie, but kill somebody and you get their life. And I guess it wasn't a lie, because you do get their life. It just depends on how long they were going to live. So like, you get what's left of their life, which was fun. So that actually wasn't a lie.
He shouldn't have had a heart problem.
If I ever survive something that I should have died, I am murdering someone like immediately.
That's a wild statement that you just said on a recording.
Yes. So
Jesus.
Don't put me in any life or death situations. And then I'll be in there. Movies made me do it. They told me if I killed him, I'd get his life.
Oh, don't do that.
Spitz, my dumbass missing all the clues that this was a prequel, because there were a lot. The music was from the fucking 90s. The cell phones were clearly from the 90s. They were even talking about going to Paris, which was like a little Easter egg of like Paris from the first movie. Like there was a lot in there that I just apparently peripherally blocked out and didn't think anything of, because cell phones in 2011 versus cell phones in 1999, very different cell phones.
Yeah.
There was a little bit of bleed over, but like, yeah, the massage ticket.
Yeah. Which is stuff I didn't notice the first time I watched it.
Exactly.
Like it's
Which is
one
why
of
I
those
like this
things where
movie.
you got to rewatch
It stuck me in enough to where like I didn't notice it. Blinders on.
I didn't notice.
Any other spits for you guys? I got a couple more.
Vega?
Didn't they mention something? I could be wrong, but didn't they mention something about his brother getting married or something about that in the beginning? And then it's never brought up again when he's talking to his friend, right? Right before, what's her name?
Molly.
Not Molly. Molly. Yeah, right before Molly comes up.
And then
I have no idea.
Ass.
Yeah.
I didn't pay too much
I'm
attention.
trying to think because I could have sworn they were saying that they're supposed to get to a wedding.
Yeah, I think that's what it was. Is Molly hadn't told him if he was going to go to the wedding with her or not.
Yeah, okay.
And then she basically said, "I'm not going to go to the wedding because we're not together anymore. And I don't want to do this before we go on this trip, but since you're pushing me, we were going to talk about it when we got back." Speaking of the trip, right? So they're on a bus, and again, we're back to major disaster. A bridge collapsing. Major disaster. A NASCAR thing, not a major disaster. I'm not going to talk shit about the roller coasters. I did that enough already, and I want Katie to do exactly what she's doing if you're watching the video. But bridge collapse, major disaster, right? But there were a shit ton of names of people that died on that plaque, and that was not a very big bus, and I feel like most of the people got off the bus. So who were all of the names on the plaque that died? Like, did they have names of just people on the bridge? Because I feel like that was just their coworkers. Was there another bus that we didn't know about? Like, that was a lot of fucking people. And there was not that much room on the bus.
No, all of the people on the bus got off.
Basically, yeah.
So who all died in the crash from the business?
I don't know. Maybe there was another bus.
And then my last thing was basically something Bakley already talked about. Sam and Molly break up, but then didn't break up. Did they not break up because they survived? Like, they didn't really explain. Yeah. She dumped him, and then all this happened, and then they were just kind of still together after.
Trauma bonding.
There was no explanation to, like, at least give me a scene where, like, we see, like, her being like, you know what, after watching all those people on the bus that nobody saw die, I realize how important you are to me, and I want to be with you. Like, where the fuck is that? You guys got anything else before we go to kills?
Apparently, they were training for the next season of American Ninja Warrior because the way that they jumped from the part of breaking off of the bridge to the railing did it perfectly fine and didn't fall. So I felt like I was watching American Ninja Warrior there.
Great show.
And they almost lived in the premonition. Well,
I mean, to be fair, the guy with the eyebrows, Nicholas, I think his name is, he was he played Tom Cruise in like superhero movie, so like it makes sense. Like he would try like Mission Impossible type shit, but like, what's his name? Sam? Is that the main guy? That we
Sam and Molly, yes.
Yeah, okay, like how he made it, I have no idea.
And then the friend was Peter.
Yeah, Peter. I got the mixed up earlier. My bad.
No idea.
Who's Nicholas? Is there a Nicholas in this movie?
We do have a lot of kills though. First and foremost, Sam's heart when Molly dumped him right before the 2-day camping trip.
Go home.
Everyone that was on that specific part of the bridge that collapsed, because not the whole bridge, but just like the center of it.
Yeah, a lot of people.
Yeah.
Candace, and I think this is what Katie was talking about with the top deaths, has one of the coolest deaths with the gymnastics splat, even though I don't think the body would break that way realistically.
Probably not to that extent, but like depending on how she landed. Yeah. Like I don't think legs fully. Also, nice little touch, the little hand
bones came out and everything. Yeah, but it was a really cool looking death.
And that's top
Scorpion.
Yeah, she scorpioned her ass. Jesus Christ.
Isaac does not have a happy ending. Nope. He gets pierced by acupuncture needles, and then instead of being lit on fire, he is. Buddha sits on his face.
That's why I said death by Buddha.
Death
and
by
his foot twitches.
Yeah.
Yep. Olivia thinks that with everyone dying, now is a great time for LASIK and gets fried by the laser, falls out of a window onto a car, and to her death.
LASIK is scary.
And then her eye pops out.
Yeah.
Or rolls out.
Because the teddy bear's eye pops out. I don't like it. I don't know. We've talked about this. Stuff with the eyes, no. Especially LASIK, that's a fear.
Roy, who wasn't even on the trip, dies from a hook through the jaw in the factory, which will come, that's important later. Dennis gets a wrench through the face.
Amazing.
Peter learns that if he takes a life, he gets that person's life. So he decides he's going to kill Molly because Molly was the only one that was supposed to survive. Instead, he shoots a federal agent Block, repeatedly in the back. So Agent Block dies, and then he gets Agent Block's life. And apparently Agent Block was supposed to die because Peter then tries to kill Molly and Sam for seeing him kill a federal agent, and Sam stabs him through the back with God knows what, but it had about 5 prongs.
And it was like the metal pole things that like came off the bridge and killed him in the premonition. It was very similar.
I need Will here to tell me what kitchen utensil that is.
I have no idea what the fuck that was. He just speared him through the chest though. Like, it was crazy.
Sam and Molly die on flight 180 on their way to Paris. Sam gets cooked and Molly gets split in half by the plane wing, which I'm guessing, I don't know why Molly had to die though. Like,
because she was there.
She was supposed to survive, but she was supposed to survive. So like,
but a plane crash, plane explosion.
I'm trying to figure out throughout this whole thing, what is the relationship between Peter and Candace?
They're fucking.
They're fucking, but then he makes it seem like they're more than just that. Like they're in a relationship.
They very well could have been.
But then at the beginning, it made it sound like. But then in the beginning, it made like he was her boss.
Oh no, he definitely was like her boss.
Yeah.
She was.
But then it was like the whole relationship was weird.
I mean, they clearly didn't care. Like Molly and Sam were dating and coworkers. Like they didn't give a shit. Like that company didn't care.
It was 2011. It was a different time. Ask WWE.
Yeah.
Nathan got Roy's life, which is why this Roy dying by the hook was important. Unfortunately, we find out that Roy had a blood vessel ready to burst and could die any day now. And then part of the plane crashes through the bar that Nathan is at and crushes him to death from also Flight 180.
Yeah.
So make sure you pick somebody to kill who's gonna live.
I mean, both people who did, whether it was accidental or on purpose, did not survive long after they did.
No.
Talk about unlucky.
I do love the wraparound and how all that came back to Flight 180, and then it just kind of it makes a nice little loop through the movies because then you finish that one and you go right back to the first one and
okay, you're selling me on the movie now.
Any final thoughts on Final Destination?
Like the franchise or the movie?
The franchise.
Unique. Like overall, like it's not a slasher, it's not ghosts, it's nothing like that. It's just
kind of supernatural, but not really.
Kind of, but not really. Like, but it's like not a normal supernatural. Like it's not ghosts, it's not witches, it's not demons, it's death. It's a very cool franchise. Like overall, it's just shitty parts obviously throughout. Like overall, it's a very cool franchise, very unique kills, and I'm kind of intrigued to see what they do with Bloodlines now. I'm gonna be honest.
Or even what the plot of Bloodlines is.
Yeah,
I've read some stuff, but I don't know if anything was concrete when I read it. So,
because it's not like there's like a seeable villain, so it's like you kind of spend belief with everything going on because it's like Okay, it's actually death itself.
Maybe old girl and sexy cop have a baby, and now death's coming for the baby.
Yeah, like what the fuck happens with Kimberly and Sexy Cop Man? Like, put them in the movie.
Yeah.
Log Truck is the most traumatizing thing from all of the movies, or is there something else from any one of these movies that I think fucked you guys up more than the log truck?
LASIK.
LASIK?
There's that, or
Pretty damn close.
technically it doesn't happen because it's a premonition, but in the third, was it the third one? No, the fourth one where his girlfriend falls into the escalator.
Escalator?
Yeah. Fourth one.
That,
Always tie
that
your
got me.
shoes.
That definitely got me.
So we're terrified of log trucks, escalators, and eye corrective surgery, which is why Katie still wears Coke bottle glasses to this day.
I've been wearing glasses since the second half of kindergarten, and I'm never not wearing them.
You know what your glasses and Bronson Reed have in common?
What?
They're thick as fuck, boy!
They're not even... Okay, I mean, the glass on this one actually is, but that's neither here nor there. It's not funny. How dare you?
Thank you guys for joining me today for this episode of Getting Off. It was fun, and I think this one went a lot better than the last round.
Yeah.
So even though my Instagram post never went through, but that's okay.
It's fine. You're going to be okay.
Daniel, please tell everyone where they can find you and all the things you do.
You can find me on X and Instagram under @CageIQ. Of course, I am taking a hiatus still with Wrestling Bros. Probably come back in a couple months when me and Mo can both do an episode together at the same time, since our schedules are different. But until then, you can find me every Tuesday from 8 to 10 on the Circle Debate. Me and Justin doing the NXT watch along that we do. NXT is very interesting right now. I'm happy with where they're going.
If you want, because my wife won't watch it, let me know, and I can come on for an NXT watch along.
Oh yeah, you're always welcome.
Okay. Kind of miss Justin, and I don't do a lot of watch alongs. And also, Ivan's been bitching that I haven't done anything Circle of Debate, so I think it'd be fun to do something that he's not on for Circle of Debate. Be like, I was there. Where were you, Ivan?
Yeah, exactly. So always welcome. But you can find us every Tuesday from 8 to 10 Eastern, 7 to 9 Central Time. Gotta remember that. And whenever me and Ivan link up, we do dojo debates where we talk New Japan. We should be doing an episode next week to review King of Pro Wrestling. Hopefully they decide to put the title on Zack Sabre Jr. Finally, instead of waiting until Wrestle Kingdom, he's cashed it in. So he has the chance to walk into England as champion, which is pretty cool. And I have a new project I'm doing right now just with socials. It's called Dan's Ringside Picks. I just do sports betting, and I just post picks on social media on the X and IG. One is Dan Ringside Picks, and on, I believe, the other one is D Ringside Picks. So you
that's on Instagram, and you'd know that if my Instagram post had gone through, but it didn't. So
yeah. So you can find me on there if you're into betting. I'm doing very well right now, just trying to grow the page. So any follow is helpful.
Gator Tot.
You can follow me on Twitter, KatieWrestling13. The link tree in my bio to take all things She Elite Showcase, twitch.tv/She Elite Showcase, and youtube.com/She Elite Showcase, typically Thursday, 6 p.m. Eastern-ish. That reminds me, I have to put a YouTube video up tomorrow. Just a little clip from the last episode Savannah and I did about, like, you know, wrestle dreams and shit, which I thought was a very clever question, so I was very proud of myself.
It was.
Thank you. And then I do this show, but we're not doing Smacking Around for 2 weeks because it's because of me, because I'm busy and I want to have a little bit of a social life.
I mean, I also wouldn't be doing Smacking Around for, it'd be you and Vince, if anything. because I'd be off for 2 weeks regardless. So that's why we're not doing SmackDown Raws. Neither of us are available, and Vince kind of sort of retired, but may show up and do a special episode at a time that works for him. So go check out Katie. Go check out Circle of Debate and Everything Bakley, and look for Wrestling Bros coming back. And you guys can follow me at Matt Ridders at MATTRIDDER for your wrestling content, which is that Smack and Raw thing. We'll be back in 2 weeks, and when we come back in 2 weeks, it will be after the Halloween Havoc PLE, and we will have Tiffany from Down for the Count joining us for that episode. Also, what?
I didn't even know that was happening. Okay.
You do now. Hi, surprise.
Surprise.
We haven't had a lot of time to talk. Also, our next episode of Getting Off, which you can follow on Twitter at Getting Off, is going to be our Halloween episode, so come check us out for that. Katie and I will be reviewing drafts done from a Facebook group that I'm a part of horror movies. So we will basically look at the drafts and rate the drafts and pick our favorite draft, and then that winner gets a prize. So we are going to pick who had the best draft, which I think Katie and I are very well adept at. We did it for Young Kings, even though TC wasn't happy about it. Also, you guys can follow me everywhere else on socials at Smack and Raw. That's TikTok, Instagram, Threads, and Blue Sky, and that'll get you a little bit of everything. And if you follow me on TikTok, you'll get videos about me talking about Tony D'Angelo, Carmelo Hayes, Trick Williams, and Braun Breaker as our next Brock, Randy, Cena, and Batista. You'll also see my daughter singing and just talking about how much she loves Cody Rhodes fairly frequently. And all of our episodes, the thumbnails and clips and all of that are all there as well. I have clips from both Getting Off and Smack and Raw dropping tomorrow and Sunday. So look for those. See why you guys should come watch the show. With all of that said, for Miss Katie Kinsey Bay and Dan Bakley, I am the patron saint of podcasting, the Warden Matt Ritter, and this has been your #1 horror podcast, formerly on Pornhub.